Think of the most dangerous person you know right now in your personal life. You probably picture someone shouting, or maybe a person who is cold and distant. But the most dangerous people usually start their journey by smiling right at you. Toxic people do not always begin with obvious red flags like yelling or pushing. Instead, they often present themselves as the most smiling, nice, and caring person. This friendly exterior acts like a sugar-coated pill hiding a very bitter reality. Have you ever felt more exhausted by someone's help than by their absence? What if that kindness you are receiving is actually a carefully crafted emotional cage? It is like a Trojan horse entering your gates without any resistance at all. You see a welcome mat where you should be seeing a dangerous warning sign. They use these mind games to lower your guard before the manipulation truly begins. When red flags are painted pink, they become almost impossible for you to spot. These individuals master the art of looking helpful while slowly eroding your personal boundaries. Real aggression is easy to spot, but a fake smile is a silent weapon. We expect toxic people to be monsters, yet they often arrive as your friend. Their caring nature is frequently a mask used to hide deep patterns of deflection. You might find yourself questioning reality as the subtle gaslighting starts taking hold. This gentle approach is how they get you through the door and into their web. Every nice gesture could be a brick in a wall they are building around you. Understanding this hidden mask is the first step to protecting your emotional well-being. Because when the aggression finally shows, you are often already trapped in their cycle. Don't be fooled by a warm greeting that feels a little bit too perfect. Genuine care respects your space, while manipulation seeks to own every part of you. We are going to unmask the 5 manipulative questions they use to control you. It is time to see the reality behind the smile and reclaim your power today. You might expect a toxic person to announce their arrival with shouting or aggressive physical pushing. But true manipulation is often far quieter and more sophisticated than a simple display of anger. In reality, many toxic people hide their harmful intentions behind a perfectly polished and friendly exterior. They understand that a warm smile is the ultimate tool to make you lower your natural defenses. This strategic kindness is a calculated choice designed to bypass your intuition and cloud your better judgment. By appearing nice and caring, they ensure you won't spot the red flags until it is too late. You might find yourself questioning your own reality because they seem so genuinely helpful and pleasant. This confusion is the first step of gaslighting, making you doubt your instincts about their true character. When they look like a friend, you are much more likely to let them cross your boundaries. They use this charm as a smokescreen, hiding the intricate mind games they play beneath the surface. It is a deliberate tactic to ensure you feel safe enough to share your most vulnerable secrets. Once they have your trust, they can use that information as leverage for future emotional control. Notice how they never use force when a gentle suggestion can achieve the same manipulative result. This subtle approach makes it incredibly difficult for outsiders to believe that any abuse is actually happening. They maintain a public image of perfection to isolate you from anyone who might offer you help. When you finally try to address their behavior, they use deflection to turn the blame back onto you. They might say they were only trying to help, masking their manipulation with a tone of concern. This is why recognizing the person behind the smile is crucial for protecting your emotional well-being today. Do not be fooled by a pleasant demeanor when their actions consistently leave you feeling drained and small. Understanding this mask is your first step towards setting firm boundaries and reclaiming your personal narrative. They aren't going to call you names because that's far too obvious for their subtle games. Instead, they employ something much more surgical and dangerous: the hidden art of the weaponized inquiry. If they don't use insults to tear you down, how exactly do they maintain total control? It is actually simpler than you think, relying on the natural human desire to be helpful. Toxic people utilize questions as manipulative traps rather than resorting to direct insults or physical verbal attacks. This strategy allows them to maintain their mask of kindness while slowly undermining your sense of reality. Why would someone ask a question they have absolutely no interest in hearing the answer to? Think of each question as a fishing hook, expertly baited to lure you into a defensive position. It is a verbal chess move designed to put you in checkmate before you realize you're playing. You might find yourself wondering if this is a genuine conversation or a cold, calculated cross-examination. These subtle mind games are the red flags that many of us overlook in our daily lives. By asking the right question, they force you to justify your existence without ever raising their voice. This form of manipulation is far more effective than shouting because it leaves no visible bruises behind. You start to doubt your own boundaries as you struggle to answer their increasingly pointed queries. They use deflection to shift the focus away from their behavior and directly onto your perceived flaws. Every response you give is just more fuel for the gaslighting fire they are quietly building. They aren't looking for clarity. They are looking for a crack in your armor to exploit. This methodical strategy transforms a simple chat into a battlefield where you are already losing ground. It is a calculated method of psychological warfare hidden behind a thin veneer of casual curiosity. Understanding this specific strategy is the only way to recognize the traps before you step inside. These are never simple requests for information. They are carefully constructed traps for your mind. And the first trap is one you have likely walked into a dozen times this month alone. Recognizing these patterns is the vital first step in protecting yourself from their manipulative emotional games. Let's look at the first weapon in their arsenal, a question designed to undermine your emotional reality. If you've ever been hurt and then found yourself apologizing for it, you've met question number 1. The question, "Why are you so sensitive?" is the first common question used by toxic people everywhere. It sounds like a simple observation, but it is actually a primary tactic for shifting the blame. Toxic people use this specific inquiry to make you feel like the problem after you have been hurt. Instead of addressing their harmful behavior, they turn the spotlight onto your natural reaction to pain. This is a classic form of deflection, ensuring they never have to take responsibility for their actions. Imagine someone stepping on your foot and then asking why your toes are so incredibly fragile. It is like blaming the smoke detector for sounding an alarm while the house is clearly on fire. They want you to believe that your feelings are a character flaw rather than a justified response. When sensitive becomes a bad word, your boundaries begin to crumble under the weight of their judgment. Why is your reaction treated as the crisis, while their initial action is completely ignored and erased? This subtle manipulation serves as a cornerstone for gaslighting, making you doubt your own emotional compass. They use your empathy against you, twisting your desire for peace into a reason to feel ashamed. These mind games are designed to keep you on the defensive while they continue their toxic behavior. You aren't being too sensitive. You are reacting to a genuine violation of your trust and respect. Recognizing this red flag is essential to breaking the cycle of emotional abuse and reclaiming your power. They want you to apologize for being hurt, which effectively silences your voice in the relationship. This question acts as a shield, protecting the toxic person from any form of accountability or change. But notice what's missing from that question. It's never about what they did to cause the pain. It is always about how you reacted, shifting the focus away from their own harmful choices. By making you the problem, they maintain control while you struggle to fix your supposed sensitivity. This is not a request for information. It is a calculated strike against your emotional well-being. Understanding this tactic allows you to stop the deflection and see the manipulation for what it is. Your feelings are valid indicators of your reality, not weapons for someone else to use against you. They aren't just asking a question. They are social engineering you into a deep and uncomfortable silence. These manipulators know exactly which buttons to push to make you shut down and second-guess yourself. This isn't accidental. It's a calculated strategy designed to keep their bad behavior hidden from view. When someone labels you as sensitive, they are actively attempting to stop you from calling them out. It is a gag order disguised as a personality critique, aimed at silencing your legitimate complaints. They leverage the universal fear of appearing weak or overly dramatic to keep you in line. Most people would rather suffer in silence than be branded as the person making a scene. Toxic individuals exploit this social desire for harmony to ensure their toxic actions go completely unchecked. By making your reaction the problem, they successfully shift the focus away from their own harmful choices. Are you actually being dramatic, or are you simply trying to set a much-needed emotional boundary? Think about who benefits most when you decide to stay quiet about the way you were treated. This sensitive label becomes a powerful weapon used to dismantle your confidence and your sense of reality. This form of emotional blackmail forces you to choose between your self-respect and your social reputation. You start filtering your words, wondering if your next complaint will be met with more cruel labels. Soon, you are working harder to avoid a label than they are working to be kind. Contrast this manipulation with how healthy people respond when they accidentally cause someone else genuine pain. Healthy individuals do not use your feelings as ammunition to launch a counterattack against your character. Instead, they choose to listen intently, acknowledging the impact of their actions without making any excuses. A person with integrity will offer a sincere apology and take active steps to change their behavior. They prioritize your well-being over their own ego, fostering a safe environment for honest and open communication. This is how toxic people win, by making the cost of complaining far higher than the cost of suffering. They want you to believe that staying quiet is the only way to remain strong and dignified. But true strength lies in refusing to let a manipulator define what is dramatic or overly sensitive. Healthy people don't play these mind games because they value the truth more than their own image. Recognizing this redirection is the first step toward breaking free from their subtle and suffocating control. Breaking free from their suffocating control starts with changing how you respond to their calculated mind games. When they look you in the eyes and ask why you are so sensitive, do not flinch. This question is a classic tool of gaslighting, used to make your valid feelings feel like flaws. They want you to defend your personality instead of addressing the toxic behavior that actually caused the pain. To stop this cycle of manipulation, you need to understand how a healthy person actually handles conflict. Healthy people respond to hurting others by truly listening to the impact of their words and actions. Instead of deflection, a mature person offers a sincere apology and takes full responsibility for their mistakes. Most importantly, healthy individuals demonstrate their care by actively changing their behavior to avoid future hurt. If you share a hurt and they label you sensitive, they are failing this basic empathy test. You do not have to explain your sensitivity. You only need to address their refusal to listen. Here is a specific non-defensive script you can use the next time they try this tactic. Look them directly in the eye and say, "My sensitivity is not the issue we are discussing." Follow that by stating, "The real issue is that your specific behavior has caused me genuine pain. I am not asking for a character assessment. I am asking for you to hear my feelings." This response shifts the focus back to their actions and sets a firm boundary against their deflection. It stops the gaslighting in its tracks because you refuse to play the role of the victim. Notice how they react when you refuse to defend your right to have normal human emotions. A toxic person will likely double down on manipulation because they have lost control of the narrative. But you have reclaimed your voice by stating the truth without apologizing for your own emotional reality. This is how you spot red flags early and protect your peace from those who refuse to change. Remember that your feelings are valid data points that inform you about the health of your relationships. You deserve partners and friends who respond to your pain with compassion rather than cruel, dismissive labels. Setting these boundaries is an act of self-respect that signals you will no longer tolerate subtle abuse. When you stop defending yourself against the label, you take away the primary power of their inquiry. You are simply holding a mirror to their behavior and waiting to see if they can handle reality. If the first question attacked your character, this second weapon aims directly at your sense of humor. Question number 2 is a favorite of office bullies and toxic partners alike. Can't you take a joke? This phrase marks the second most common question manipulative people use to keep you on the defensive. Imagine a poison-tipped arrow dipped in honey, designed to wound you while appearing sweet and harmless. They use a colorful clown mask to hide the face of a predator lurking just beneath the surface. Toxic people frequently hide behind humor to get away with being cruel without facing any real consequences. This clever deflection is a major red flag, signaling that your feelings are being sacrificed for their entertainment. When they ask this, they are gaslighting you into believing that your valid pain is actually a personal failing. If a joke is only funny to the person telling it, is it actually a joke at all? A true joke brings people together, but their humor is specifically designed to isolate and demean you. By questioning your reaction, they effectively shift the blame from their cruelty onto your perceived lack of humor. This tactic forces you to choose between defending your boundaries or staying silent to avoid being labeled sensitive. It is one of the most effective mind games used to make cruelty feel socially acceptable in public. Why is their specific brand of humor always served at your expense and never at their own? You start to doubt yourself, wondering if you really are too stiff or if the joke was mean. But let's be clear, humor is never a valid excuse for targeted harassment or emotional abuse. They rely on the social pressure of laughter to mask the intentional harm they are causing you. Your inability to laugh at an insult doesn't mean you lack humor. It means you possess self-respect. If you aren't laughing, it's not because you're stiff, but because there's nothing funny about being targeted. Recognizing this mask is the first step in reclaiming your reality from their deceptive and manipulative games. Let us set the record straight on what a joke actually is and reclaim the definition of humor. True humor is supposed to bring people together, acting as a bridge between two connecting souls. But in the hands of toxic people, a joke becomes a barrier designed to isolate and demean. We need to look closer at who this laughter is truly serving in these uncomfortable moments. By definition, a real joke must be genuinely humorous for every single person involved in the exchange. It shouldn't be a performance where one person laughs while the other feels a sting of pain. Think of genuine humor as a shared meal where everyone leaves the table feeling satisfied and full. A manipulative joke is more like one person feasting while the person across from them starves. When manipulation is masked as comedy, your discomfort is the primary ingredient they use for their entertainment. Does laughter always mean something is funny, or is it sometimes just a shield for cruelty? Toxic individuals use these mind games to test your boundaries and see how much you will endure. If you aren't laughing, it isn't because you lack a sense of humor or are being too sensitive. It is because the joke is actually a calculated red flag waving right in front of your face. Gaslighting often starts with these small, sharp comments that are quickly dismissed as just being playful. They use deflection to turn your valid hurt into a flaw, making you the problem for not laughing. A real connection requires empathy, whereas these one-sided jokes require a victim to maintain their power. You must remember that you are never obligated to participate in humor that targets your own dignity. Recognizing this specific mask is a powerful way to start reclaiming your reality from their deceptive games. Once you realize that humor requires a shared connection, this toxic tactic begins to lose its power. Understanding that a joke requires a victim to be cruel helps you set much firmer emotional boundaries. But what happens when the cruel jokes finally stop and you actually need a little bit of support? This leads us directly to the third common question toxic people use to maintain their psychological control. They look you in the eye and coldly ask, "Why do you always make things about you?" When you finally ask for support, this specific question flips the script and labels you a narcissist. This isn't a genuine inquiry. It is a calculated tactic known in psychology as emotional deflection. Deflection is a tool toxic people use to avoid the basic responsibility of helping or caring for others. It acts like a verbal no-reverse card, instantly shifting the focus from your needs to your character. Is it truly selfish to have basic human needs or to expect empathy from a romantic partner? There is a deep irony in someone avoiding care while simultaneously calling the person in pain selfish. It is like a goalie blaming the striker for simply trying to score a goal during the game. In their eyes, your emotional pain is not a priority. It is merely an annoying inconvenience to them. This form of gaslighting forces you to apologize for having feelings that deserve to be heard and validated. By questioning your motives, they successfully dismantle your boundaries before you can even express your valid concerns. The primary goal of this manipulation is to make you feel like a burden for simply existing. Recognizing this pattern is a major red flag that signals a complete lack of emotional safety in relationships. They play these mind games to ensure the relationship always revolves entirely around their comfort, not yours. You are not being selfish for wanting to be heard in a moment of genuine personal distress. Instead of receiving comfort, you are forced into a defensive posture, explaining why your feelings even matter. Over time, you stop asking for help entirely to avoid the sting of their sharp and unfair accusations. Breaking this cycle requires understanding that their deflection is a reflection of their character, not your worth. At its heart, this question is a shield used to protect them from the hard effort of empathy. This ultimate form of deflection allows them to avoid being a partner while making you feel like a burden. It is the perfect way to dodge responsibility while keeping you trapped in a cycle of self-doubt. You walked into the room needing a hug, but you walked out feeling like you owed them an apology. This is the emotional flip, a calculated move designed to transform your vulnerability into a personal failure. Have you ever felt a deep sense of guilt just for being sad or asking for support? It is an emotional judo move, using your own weight and honesty to throw you to the ground. If you feel like a burden for having basic needs, you are actually being strategically manipulated. Toxic people specialize in flipping the script the moment you dare to express your honest, raw feelings. When you reach out for help, they treat your request like a selfish attack on their peace. Suddenly, the focus shifts from your pain to how much your negativity is hurting them instead. They use a magician's sleight of hand to make your valid emotional requirements disappear into thin air. Building on the deflection we discussed earlier, This tactic ensures they never have to be a partner. You start editing your emotions because the cost of sharing them with them has become too high. This is where gaslighting thrives, making you doubt whether your feelings were ever even reasonable or real. Pay close attention when someone makes your struggle all about their own perceived inconvenience or discomfort. Recognizing this pattern is the first step towards setting firm boundaries against their constant emotional sabotage. They want you to believe that your very presence is an exhausting weight they are forced to carry. Why does seeking simple support feel like you are launching a full-scale war against their happiness? Toxic people intentionally flip situations to make victims feel guilty for simply seeking support or connection. Your needs are not a burden, and your feelings do not require a formal apology to exist. Stop apologizing for being human in a relationship that should ideally offer you a safe harbor. They have successfully turned your vulnerability into a weapon used against you in every single argument. But this next one attacks your very memory through the fog of gaslighting. If you have ever considered recording conversations just to prove your sanity, you are facing question number 4. Welcome to the most psychological of all the traps designed to make you question your own mind. This specific weapon involves the toxic person asking you directly, "When did I ever say that?" This behavior is known as gaslighting, where someone deliberately forces you to doubt your memory and reality. It starts with a simple denial that shatters the foundation of everything you know to be true. Imagine someone painting your blue walls bright red and then asking why you are obsessed with blue. They rewrite the past in real time, leaving you stranded in a world that no longer makes sense. How can you possibly trust someone who insists that your very memories are nothing more than lies? This is not a simple lapse in memory. It is a calculated strategy to dismantle your confidence. It is like someone moving the goalposts while the ball is still flying through the air. Do they truly not remember the conversation, or are they simply refusing to be held accountable? Toxic people use this deflection to escape the consequences of their words and their harmful actions. Recognizing this pattern is the first step in protecting yourself from these dangerous emotional mind games. When they deny your reality, they are attempting to seize the narrative of your shared life. You begin to wonder if your brain is failing you while they remain perfectly calm and collected. Your memory is not the problem here, but their refusal to acknowledge the truth certainly is. Setting boundaries becomes nearly impossible when the ground beneath your feet is constantly shifting and changing. By controlling the past, they effectively control how you feel and react in the present moment. We must call this what it is: a deliberate attempt to colonize your mind and perception. You are not crazy, and your experiences are valid even if they refuse to admit they happened. The question, "When did I ever say that?" is a shield they use to hide from their behavior. It forces you to stop the argument and start defending your own sanity instead. This deflection ensures the conversation never reaches a resolution or a moment of true healing. Notice how they never offer their own version. They only tear down yours until you crumble. They are not just lying about the past. They are trying to seize control of your future. There is a massive invisible difference between a simple bad memory and a truly bad intention. You might wonder if their forgetfulness is a genuine mistake or a calculated move of the hand. Why is their first reaction to attack your reality when you bring up a broken promise? Does a simple mistake really require an entire character assassination just to protect their ego? Toxic people utilize gaslighting as a master key to gain total control over your shared environment. This manipulation allows them to lie effortlessly while completely avoiding any form of personal accountability. They break promises as easily as breathing, knowing they can just rewrite the past later on. By attacking your memory, they ensure you never have the ground to stand on during arguments. It is a calculated strategy designed to keep you questioning your own eyes and ears constantly. Imagine a person who says the keys never existed rather than admitting they simply lost them. This creates a fog where their broken commitments become your mental failures and their twisted narrative. In stark contrast, a healthy individual will simply admit when something has slipped their mind. When a healthy person forgets, they don't feel the need to launch a defensive counterattack. They acknowledge the oversight, apologize for the error, and work to make the situation right again. There is no desire to rewrite history or make you feel like you are losing your mind. Their memory might be imperfect, but their intention remains focused on honesty and mutual respect. Red flags appear when a simple "I forgot" is replaced by a complex web of lies. Manipulation thrives through mind games played in the space between what happened and what they claim. You are not crazy for remembering the truth. You are just dealing with a master of deflection. Spotting these red flags is the first step toward rebuilding the boundaries they tried to erase. Healthy people value the truth, while toxic people value the power they get from hiding it. One person admits they are human, while the other demands you believe their fiction is reality. Healthy people admit they have forgotten, but toxic people will always attack you for remembering. Once you finally see this pattern of malice versus memory, it becomes impossible to unsee it. To identify a toxic person, you must first understand how they handle a simple slip of the mind. Everyone forgets things occasionally, but their response reveals their true character and deep, hidden intentions. When a healthy person forgets a promise, they usually admit their mistake without making you feel crazy. They do not try to rewrite history or attack your memory just to protect their own ego. Instead, they offer a sincere apology and work to make things right because they value the truth. But for toxic people, a forgotten promise is not a mistake. It is a strategic and tactical opportunity. They use gaslighting to gain total control over you, often lying about what was actually said. Instead of admitting they forgot, they will aggressively attack your reality to avoid being held accountable. They might tell you that you are imagining things or that you are being far too sensitive. This subtle shift from a simple memory lapse to a personal attack is a major red flag. Manipulation is their primary goal, ensuring you stay off balance and constantly questioning your own mental sanity. Here is the test. Watch how they react when you bring up a broken promise or lie. Do they offer clarity and empathy, or do they immediately pivot toward deflection and cruel mind games? Toxic people often need to be right more than they need to be honest with those they love. By denying your reality, they strip away your boundaries and keep you under their psychological thumb. If you feel like you are losing your mind during a basic conversation, you are being gaslit. Understanding this difference gives you the power to see through their elaborate and confusing web of lies. A healthy person protects the relationship, while a toxic person protects their own false and perfect image. Remember, truth creates a safe connection, while manipulation only serves to build a wall of isolation. Once you apply this test, the hidden mask of toxicity will begin to slip away forever. Gaslighting is a calculated tool used to break promises without ever having to face any consequence. They want to be above accountability, even if it means destroying your sense of trust and security. If their memory only fails when they owe you something, you are witnessing a deliberate manipulation tactic. Boundaries are easily crossed when a toxic person convinces you that your own perception is deeply flawed. Pay close attention to these red flags because they are the keys to reclaiming your emotional freedom. Is kindness a gift, or is it a debt you are expected to pay back with your soul? This fifth and final question is the most heartbreaking because it weaponizes your past happiness against you. They look you in the eyes and ask, "After everything I have done for you, how could you?" It feels like a punch to the gut, instantly turning every warm memory into a cold, hard debt. This is the ultimate red flag where toxic people transform their past generosity into a sharp emotional blade. Suddenly, every favor they ever did for you is being handed back as a calculated emotional receipt. They aren't reminiscing about the good times. They are using them to bulldoze right over your current boundaries. Imagine a store giving you a free sample, then suing you for the entire cost of the building. This specific manipulation uses past good deeds to make you feel like your needs do not matter anymore. It is a classic gaslighting move, designed to make you feel ungrateful for simply having a basic human limit. By bringing up their past niceness, they are effectively buying a license to treat you poorly today. You start to wonder if those kind moments were ever genuine or just deposits into a control account. Do favors have an expiration date, or are you expected to be indebted to them for a lifetime? When a good deed becomes a weapon, it ceases to be a gift and becomes a heavy shackle. They want you to believe that their previous support justifies their current disrespect of your personal space. This tactic preys on your empathy, making you feel like a villain for standing up for yourself now. Remember that true kindness does not keep score, and it certainly does not demand your silence as payment. They are effectively using their smiling exterior from the past to mask the toxicity they are showing today. It is a trap that makes you feel like you owe them your soul for a few kind gestures. This emotional blackmail is designed to make you fold and abandon the boundaries you worked hard to set. If they truly cared, they would not use their past love as a tool to keep you under control. Recognizing this pattern is the first step toward realizing that you do not actually owe them anything. Their past generosity does not give them a free pass to ignore your feelings or cross your lines. You are not being ungrateful. You are simply refusing to let your past be used as a cage. They are using their past niceness as a license to be cruel, but you do not have to accept. Let's take a moment to define what real love and healthy connection actually look like. Love isn't a spreadsheet, and if someone is keeping score, they aren't playing for your team. Toxic people often treat kindness like a currency, recording every favor just to use it against you. If you have to earn basic respect through a list of past deeds, is it actually respect? Real love is a well that never runs dry, but toxic love is a meter always running out. Every gesture of support comes with an invisible price tag you will eventually be forced to pay. They weaponize their past niceness as a tool for manipulation, demanding compliance in exchange for their favors. Does a genuine gift ever come with strings attached, or is it just a trap for control? This constant ledger of loyalty is one of the biggest red flags you can find in relationships. Healthy boundaries are built on mutual care, not a transactional system of debts and emotional credits. They use gaslighting to make you feel guilty for forgetting a favor they did months ago. When you bring up a current problem, they use deflection by listing all their past good deeds. You are not a project to be managed or a debtor who must constantly prove your worth. Genuine kindness is given freely without the expectation of using it as a weapon later on. These subtle mind games are designed to keep you off balance and forever in their emotional debt. Recognizing this pattern is the first step in reclaiming your narrative and your emotional peace. Real love does not keep score or use past favors to demand your silence or disrespect. Scorekeeping is for competitive sports, but it has no place in a heart that truly cares. Respect should be the baseline of your relationship, not a reward for following their manipulative rules. Kindness should always be a solid foundation for your life, never a leash used to restrain you. Knowing the difference between a gift and a debt is your greatest defense against toxic control. To truly defend yourself, you must visualize the massive divide between toxic ledgers and genuine affection. Toxic people don't offer kindness. They provide high-interest loans designed to be collected at your weakest moment. They maintain a mental scoreboard, meticulously recording every nice thing they have ever done for you. When you try to set a healthy boundary, they immediately pull out this hidden list of past favors. This calculation is a deliberate manipulation tactic used to make your current needs feel selfish or ungrateful. By weaponizing their history of good deeds, they effectively invalidate your right to say no today. Every cup of coffee or ride home becomes a brick in the wall they build around your freedom. They want you to believe that their past kindness has purchased the right to control your present behavior. In their world, a favor is never just a favor. It is a down payment on future compliance. Notice how these interactions always leave you feeling heavy with an unspoken, invisible debt that never ends. Now, let's clear the air and look at what real, healthy connection actually looks like in practice. Genuine love operates on an entirely different frequency, one that does not require a ledger or a calculator. In a healthy relationship, kindness is a free expression of care rather than a strategic move for power. Real love means giving without the expectation of a specific predetermined return on the emotional investment. There is no scoreboard in a healthy home because your value is not tied to your utility. When someone truly loves you, they respect your boundaries even if they did you a favor yesterday. They understand that a gift given with strings attached is not a gift at all, but a snare. Healthy people don't to remind you of their past, help to silence your voice, or crush your spirit. They give because they want to see you thrive, not because they want to keep you in debt. This distinction is the line between a partnership that breathes and a prison that suffocates your soul. Imagine a chart where one side is cluttered with debts while the other is open and light. On the toxic side, every action has a price tag that they expect you to pay forever. On the healthy side, the balance is always zero because love is not a business transaction. Recognizing this pattern allows you to release the guilt they have been using to keep you captive. You are allowed to accept kindness without owing your entire identity to the person who gave it. So how do we summarize the emotional chaos we have just uncovered together in these patterns? It all comes down to one single, invisible factor that changes everything: human intent. Two people can ask the exact same question, yet only one is trying to love you. Think of a sharp scalpel in the steady hands of a surgeon versus an attacker. The tool remains the same, but the purpose behind its use determines your survival. Healthy people use their curiosity as a bridge to learn more about your inner world. They ask questions because they genuinely want to connect and offer you their support. These inquiries are designed to help you feel seen, heard, and deeply understood. Ask yourself in the moment, is this question a bridge meant to bring us closer? On the other hand, toxic people use questions as weapons to confuse your reality. Their inquiries are calculated traps designed to shift blame and make you feel small. Instead of seeking understanding, they use manipulation to leave you feeling more alone. Does this interaction leave me feeling supported or trapped behind a cold, rising wall? While healthy curiosity builds you up, toxic interrogation is only meant to tear you down. Red flags often hide in the way someone responds when you do not have answers. Gaslighting often begins with a simple question that slowly erodes your confidence and truth. Always remember that questions are merely tools, but the heart is the one using them. A person who truly loves you will never use your vulnerability as a roadmap for attack. They want to lift the burden, not add more weight to your already heavy shoulders. Healthy boundaries start with recognizing the difference between a curious friend and a critic. You deserve to be surrounded by people who seek to understand rather than to undermine. Once you understand the hidden why behind the question, the what can no longer hurt. Recognizing these patterns is your first step toward reclaiming your peace and your power. Quick recap before you go. Let's review your new survival guide for lasting emotional safety. These are the 5 specific sentences that should immediately set off alarm bells in your head. Think of this summary as a mental immune system protecting you from toxic psychological manipulation. First, remember the sensitivity trap designed to make you feel like your feelings are simply wrong. Then there's the weaponized joke, a cruel tool used to slice through your personal boundaries. We also uncovered the deflection tactic, where they flip the script to make everything about you. Don't forget the memory attack, a classic gaslighting move that makes you doubt your own sanity. Finally, watch out for the debt of kindness, where love is treated like a heavy financial obligation. Toxic people use these 5 specific questions as precision instruments to manipulate your very reality. These calculated inquiries are never about seeking truth. They are designed specifically to confuse you. They aim to shift blame onto your shoulders until you feel incredibly small and powerless. Understanding these patterns is your decoder ring for identifying toxic speech in real time. While healthy communication builds bridges, these specific questions function as weapons of hidden control. By recognizing these red flags, you can finally differentiate between love and malicious mind games. Which of these 5 manipulative questions have you heard in your own life recently? Are you ready to see the truth and reclaim the peace you deserve? Your awareness is your greatest defense against the subtle art of emotional redirection. Do not let them rewrite your history or diminish the validity of your personal experience. Step into the light of clarity and leave the confusion of toxic control behind you. Now that you can finally name these tactics, they can no longer hide in the shadows. You are no longer in the dark, standing at the threshold of a much clearer emotional reality. Your peace is too valuable to leave to chance, so do not wait for the next red flag. Toxic people do not always exhibit obvious red flags, like yelling or aggressive physical pushing during a conflict. They may present themselves as smiling, nice, and caring, while subtly working to undermine your own reality. That smiling red flag we discussed earlier remains their most effective tool for bypassing your natural defenses. Is your internal peace worth a single click to ensure you never fall for those games again? Think of this knowledge as building a powerful shield around your mind against every future manipulation attempt. By subscribing today, you are joining a community of awareness dedicated to reclaiming our shared emotional safety. Take this moment to secure your boundaries and commit to learning the deeper signs of hidden toxicity. Protecting your peace is an active journey that requires constant vigilance and the right set of tools. Who else in your life needs to hear these truths today to escape their own confusing cycles? You now possess the vocabulary to dismantle gaslighting and deflection before they can take root in you. Stay strong as you navigate these complex relationships, knowing you are finally equipped to spot the truth. Do not let anyone keep a ledger of your soul or weaponize past kindness against your future. Manipulation thrives in silence, but your awareness is the light that makes their mind games completely impossible. We will continue to explore the subtle patterns of toxic behavior to keep your mental health prioritized. You deserve a life free from the suffocating control of those who only pretend to care. Every video we share is another brick in the fortress you are building for your emotional well-being. Hit that button now to stay connected and never lose sight of your worth in any relationship. I will see you in the next video, so until then, stay safe and stay aware.